And so let me put a little table on the screen here for you Bible scholars. You want to write something down. This I have never seen before. Daniel chapter 7 gives the long prophecy. It ends with Jesus as king. It's the big picture. It's Jesus as king. It's the glorification. It's the climax, the culmination. Daniel chapter 8 then backs off a little bit, and a medium prophecy, which is absorbed in that long prophecy. He's the priest, and he's working on the sanctification. Daniel chapter 9 is the shortest prophecy, the 490-year prophecy, the 70-week prophecy, and it speaks of the Messiah being a sacrifice and providing justification. You see, we would reverse the order. We would say, first you have to receive justification, and then you spend your life, God growing sanctification in you, purifying your life, and you finally arrive with glorification. They think about it in the exact opposite order. No, there's glorification. He's the king. Well, in order to be king, he had to be the priest. In order to be the priest, he had to have a sacrifice. And they see it the exact opposite. But Daniel chapter 7, Daniel chapter 8, Daniel chapter 9, the three in the center of the book of Daniel are this expression, this timeline, this explanation of not kingdoms rising and falling, not a little horn that speaks great things. It's an expression. It's the timeline. It's the explanation of your redemption. We have written it off. We've become distracted with the affairs of the politics of this world. When we read, there's a little horn and he uproots 3 of the 10 horns and those 10 horns and this. Yes, that was the context. That's an earthly context. But what God wanted to communicate most of all was the at-one-ment, the atonement that you will have with God. We've been reading Daniel, thinking it was just a surface reflection of the rise and fall of kings and kingdoms, of systems. Oh, there's so much more. Daniel, in Daniel chapter 9, as he labors in prayer, as he wrestles with God, sets the tone for the final generation, those who will live to bring Jesus. Oh yeah, the juggler and the diamond, playing with a diamond, his life savings wrapped up in one rock, and he's playing with it on the deck of a ship. How foolish could someone be? Except that the final generation can outshine that foolishness with how they treat the message and the hope of atonement that we have for ourselves and the world, and we treat it with foolishness and superficial. Come on. The juggler on the ship reflects more of us than we would like to admit. Chris Hodges, he's the senior and founding pastor of the church at the Highlands. It's a church in Alabama, a mega church, we would say. But he wrote a book called The Daniel Dilemma, and I've read it. Just read it this winter. Let me put his words on the screen. Take inventory of your life. It not only tells us, it being the book of Daniel, it not only tells us stories of what happened to Daniel, but it also serves as a prophetic picture of our lives today. Do you hear his appeal? His appeal is Daniel's life is not just a story. Oh, look how he prayed. Look how he wrestled with God. Look how he wrestled with God for the community, for the world to be reconciled to him. No, that's a prophetic picture of the generation that will meet Jesus.